Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Today I'm going to be working on GE 1/3 horsepower 1725 and 1140 reversible motor. Yeah, kind of interesting. It's part of the poor man's flea market haul that I brought home. I didn't have much hope that it was going to run, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is a General Electric motor. It's a 2-speed, 1725 or 1140. Depends on how you wire it up. And I'm hoping there's a wiring diagram on the inside of this nameplate, or at least on the inside of this cover plate. When you get a motor that's in the kind of shape this one's in, first thing you got to do, cut off this broken wire. It is so old and screwed up that it cracks at the drop of a hat. And it looks like it's been overheated way too many times. So this wire goes in the scrap bin. I don't even like this plug. I know it's an antique and I probably could come up with a little paper washer that goes in there, but they're just bad. It's a bad design, it's a bad thing all the way around. The wires come loose off the screws. People lose the little paper thing and they get stepped on and crushed. It's just not worth a darn. Right in the trash. This goes into the scrap wire bin. Now that I've made it relatively safe from bonehead mistakes, the other thing that's got to happen is this grinding wheel's got to go. It is in terrible shape, and it also is unguarded. Having a grinding wheel like this, if you happen to bump that and crack it, you may not see the crack, and with it mounted, you may not hear the crack. But when you start it up, especially at 1725, this thing comes off of there, hits you like a .30 caliber bullet. Now, this has been sitting outside in the rain for a while, so I'm going to give it a shot of 50-50, because it never hurts to make sure. Now, I'm going to try just for the heck of it to spin that off, see if I can get it. That's the size. Well, look at that. The nut's coming loose. Now I'm going to grab a hold of the arbor. See if I can get this thing to, well, that's just easy as pie. I thought I was going to fight this thing, and it came right off. Now I'll put this grinding wheel over in the grinding wheel storage. If nothing else, it's got really nice little bushings in there. And I might be able to use this. In the meantime, with that grinding wheel off of there, I don't feel worried at all about starting a motor. The first thing I do is take this cover plate off. And pull this cover plate off. Ah, there's a wiring diagram. It's in pretty sad shape. I'm going to have to gently clean that up and take a picture of it, see if I can get that so I can read it. Yep, this is just a nameplate. Doesn't do anything. Well, there may be something inside there that has to be done, but I don't think it's an important part of it. Not exactly tight. If I could spin them free with my fingers on the end of an extension, I'm surprised they stayed on there as long as they did. Pretty sad shape. Okay, I'm going to make a test cord. This is not the cord I'm going to leave on the motor, it's just one to see if it'll spin up before I put a whole lot of effort into it. The reason I'm calling this a test cord is it's not grounded. And this motor really needs to have a grounded cord. But I'll be able to use this cord on other motors, which I'm going to be doing here in the future. So it won't be a lost effort. Now I have a test cord somewhere, but for a guy who spends as much time as I do just organizing the shop, I do a woefully inadequate job of finding things in it. And why am I using a ring terminal? Well, ring terminals don't slide off. You put it on there, it's on there. Checking continuity. Okay, both of them are isolated. Nice and snug. Now, since I don't have a switch on this, the cord is going to be the disconnect. So I will plug it in, and we'll see just how it spins. Before I do that, I'm going to give it a shot of 50-50 into the bearings, just for the purpose of making sure they've got some lube in them. Oh, they're much happier. Okay. Now we'll plug it in and see what happens. Worst that'll happen is the lights will go out. Ah, she hums like a bee. Perfect. I just have to come up with a grounded cord for it, and I will be all set and ready to go. Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. We're going to take a look at a motor that I found sitting alongside the road. Well, we got it wired up, got that old grinding wheel off of it so I wasn't afraid of starting it, and hooked up a wire to it, and she fired right off. Now I'll show you what I did. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. Now that I've run the test, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off of there so that nobody gets the bright idea to plug it back in again. 3rd horsepower reversible. That is great. 3rd horsepower reversible would be a great motor for a machine that I have. It would take a lot of rework, and I probably have to build some extra equipment, but I've got one that doesn't start right. So clean this thing up and swap it out for the one on the lathe. That would be interesting.
All back together, ready to run. Now with the motor running, I gotta find a project for it. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.